All right, so today we're going to talk about box and whisker plots. Box and whisker. And when we're done, we're going to end up having something that looks like this. Okay, so first let's just talk about the parts of the box and whisker plot. Okay, this right here is going to represent the lowest number. This one right here is going to represent the highest number. Then there's three lines. 1, 2, 3 lines that make up the box of the box and whisker. The one in the middle represents the median. Okay, and you remember, I hope, that the median is the middle number. Okay, then we have these two other lines. This line right here represents Q1. That line right here represents Q3. Okay? Q1 is the median of the first half. Q3 is the median of the second half. Okay, now what this does, quartile, Q1, Q3, those are quartiles. It divides this into quarters, 25%. So from Q1 to the lowest number is 25% of the data. From Q3 to the highest number is another 25% of the data. Right here in the middle, we have 50% of the data. But if we break that down a little bit more, the Q1 to the median is another 25%. And from the median to the Q3 is the last 25%. Okay, so that's where when we talk about quartiles, that's what we're talking about, is where each of the quarters lie. Okay, now let's go ahead and figure out how to make a box and whisker plot. So let's say that we have this data set. Let's say that we have 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, in this one right here, it's easy to see that the middle number is 8. Okay, so our median is going to be 8. Okay, now we take a look at our Q1 and our Q3. Okay, Q1 and Q3. Well, this is, if we remember from the first side, the Q1 is the median of the first half. Well, the first half is right here. The second half is right there. Okay? Now, we're not going to count the 8 in our halves because we can't count it in two places. We can't count it on this side and count it on this side. So when the 8 is in the middle, we just kind of take that out. Okay? Our Q1 is the middle of the first half. Well, what's in the middle of 5 and 6? It would be 5.5. Okay? And what's in the middle of our second half, our Q3, what's in the middle of 10 and 12? It would be 11. Okay, so now we have enough information to make our box and whisker plot. Okay, we're going to go ahead. Our smallest number is 5. So let's say we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I'm going to put dots on my highest number and lowest number. So 5 and 12. My median was 8. So that's going to be a line straight up and down. Our Q1 is going to be 5.5, which is going to be between the 5 and the 6, right there. And our Q3 is going to be 11, so we're going to have another line right there. So now we have enough to make our box and our whiskers. Okay. This is kind of like a number line right here. So what we did is we made it over top of a number line with each one of these representing kind of like a ruler, something like that. Okay. Now, this is actually easier if you end up having more numbers. Okay. With smaller numbers, it's not much. So there's an example of how we would do it if we had an odd number of numbers. So let's go ahead and do that same problem, but let's just add one more number. So let's say that we have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, so the last one that we had 5 numbers. This one has 6 numbers, but we can still make a box and whisker plot for this. Okay, now what we want to find is the middle number. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers. There's really no middle right here, right? Our middle would be between 8 and 10, which would give us 3 numbers on this side and 3 numbers on this side. So what we do is we count the middle 2 numbers, 8 and 10, as our middle. So we say, what's in the middle of 8 and 10? Well, 9 is in the middle of 8 and 10. So that means that our median is going to be 9. Okay. After that, we have 2 halves, a half right there, and a half right there. Our Q1 is the middle of the first half. Okay. Or Q1 is the middle of the first half. We have 4 and 8. The middle of that is 6. That's the middle number. Our Q3 is going to be 12 because that's in the middle of 10 and 14 between those 2 numbers. So we have our Q3 is going to be 12. So we have enough information now to make our box and whisker plot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and label this. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, our median is going to be 9, so I'm going to draw a line straight up and down. Our Q1 is going to be 6, so I have another line straight up and down. Our Q3 is going to be 12, so I have another line straight up and down. That is enough information to make my box. Now for the whiskers, my lowest number is 4. My highest number is 14. There is our box and whisker plot. Now, just to remind you, 25% of the data is from here to here. 25% of the data is going to be right there from here to here. 25% of the data is going to be from here to here. And 25% of the data is going to be from there to the end. Okay. Again, when we talk about a box and whisker plot, it usually makes more sense when we have more numbers, but we're just practicing where all these numbers come from. You're going to hear a term called an interquartile range. Interquartile range. okay? And that's also called the IQR. And the IQR is the box. The interquartile range is from 6 to 12. And that represents the interquartile range, okay, of those numbers. All right.